you seen my baby? Have you seen my love? Have you seen my woman, my personal gift from God?
The couple arrived home that Sunday afternoon after Pastor and his wife had talked to them for several minutes in his office. Elder Oladipupo went straight to his room immediately he got home. He had separated his room from his wife's when her trouble became unbearable. Their 2 children stayed at boarding school, so only the couple is in the house most times. They had driven home in silence. Elder Oladipupo chose not to say a word to his wife. He was really fed up with the marriage that at times he wished he had the liberty as a Christian to marry another wife that would give him peace of mind and separate himself forever from his ever troublesome wife. As he was about to open the door to his bedroom, his wife caught up with him. "Banjo, come back here." She pulled at his sleeves and made him turn to face her. "Now, begin to say the truth. What that girl said, I need the absolute truth and nothing but the truth. We are at home now, so stop the act of seeking pity party," she screamed.
God, what sort of problem is this? What truth are you looking for again? I already said it in the presence of everyone that there is not a single iota of truth in what that girl said.
Oh, really? So how did she know that I bathe once in 2 days? We both know that it's a fact. How did she get to know?
Well, how is that supposed to be my business? You are the one that should set your mind to know the people you gave that information to who later spread it to others. You are not even ashamed of yourself. You bathe once in 2 days and you can still open your mouth wide. Wow, to confess it proudly. What a shame. You bathe only on Sundays and 2 other days in a week. Is that a good life? If not that love is blind, I don't know how I found myself marrying you in the first place.
He hissed at her. "Banjo, don't try me this afternoon. Don't use other issues to cover up. Who was the girlfriend you told that I bathe once in 2 days? I must get the truth today, or else I will set this house on fire."
I am already inside fire now. Which other fire is more than this? Please shift and carry your fire to those who mentored you to be bathing once in 2 days.
Elder Oladipupo pushed her, entered his room and bolted the door. "Banjo, come out of that room now. Don't let me do the unthinkable. Come out, oh, Agbaya. After all my labors in this marriage, you want to bring another woman to overthrow me. My God will not let it happen. Come out, oh, Banjo. Open this door before I break it down."
Go and break all the doors in your father's house.
Elder Oladipupo shouted at her from within his bedroom. "I think Mrs. Oladipupo needs serious counseling. I mean, at that age, how can she be that insensible about how to manage her home? This is quite alarming," Pastor Mrs. Cole remarked as she rested her back on the couch where she lay in their living room. They just had lunch. Their kids had retired to their bedrooms to serve siesta while their parents stayed in the living room to have a chat. Pastor Cole sighed.
Sincerely, I never knew that woman is that troublesome until she displayed what she did today. Truly, character is like a smoke. It will definitely find its way out one day.
So, how do we help this marriage of theirs? The rate at which it's going. If Elder Oladipupo suddenly gets fed up with his wife's troubles, he might be pushed to do something that would affect that marriage. I pray the wife would not choke him till he would misbehave. As Pastor Cole was about to respond, his phone rang. He checked the caller. It was Elder Oladipupo.
Wow, it's the same person we are talking about. It's Elder Oladipupo,
he said, and he swiftly picked the call.
"Hello, Pastor. I just want you to listen carefully. Just don't bother to say anything. Just listen to the words you would be hearing."
Elder Oladipupo whispered into the phone. He stayed close to the door of his bedroom so that the voice of his wife could easily be heard by the pastor. Pastor Cole was more than shocked as he listened to Mrs. Oladipupo's rantings. He put the phone on loudspeaker so that his wife could also hear the angry voice of Mrs. Oladipupo at the background clearly. She kept banging on the door of her husband's bedroom so hard. "Stupid man, open this door now. Shameless old fool. Your mates are flaunting their achievements, but you at age 50 plus, you cannot boast of anything other than a small 3-bedroom bungalow. All the money you are supposed to use to do something meaningful in life, you are spending it on girls. Come and open this door now. I will not let you rest in that room until you open the door. You must explain yourself today. Who is the mad girl you told I bathe once in 2 days? We are alone in this house. How come an outsider knew I bathe once in 2 days? Shameless man, you are exposing your wife to ridicule. I will frustrate you in this house today unless you tell me the whole truth. Mrs. Oladipupo kept on ranting and knocking on the door hard at the same time. Elder Oladipupo walked back to his bedside and spoke into the phone.
Pastor, this is just a tip of the iceberg of what I face in this marriage. As it is now, I am having a very severe headache, courtesy of the hard knocks on the door. She's been at this drama for over 15 minutes before I decided to call you. I didn't wish to expose her or anything, but as it is, I am not sure I can take this any longer. If I don't voice out, I might just die. And people will not know that I died as a result of the high blood pressure my wife is giving me.
Jesus Christ! Lord have mercy! Pastor Mrs. Cole whispered at the background. She was shocked beyond words.
You will not die in Jesus' name. It is not your portion. Pastor Cole interrupted him.
Pastor, I'm tired. It is as if someone cursed me with this woman. She has been like this since the beginning of this marriage, but she became worse when I was transferred to another location at work and I had to be coming home on weekends. Since that time, it's as if our madness has doubled. Please, Pastor, tell me, how won't I die if I continue living with this woman? I have just 2 weeks leave and the first week is hell already. I have 6 days left of my leave now. Is this what I will have to face all through? This marriage has been bearable for me because I come home only on weekends. The remaining days of my leave, I'd rather go and find a hotel that I can afford and stay there. I just said I should tell you about my decision.
Pastor Cole sighed loudly. He was confused. As a man himself, he understood how much a man needs peace in his home, but at the same time, he needed to still try to talk to Elder Oladipupo to be patient with his wife. He put himself in his shoes and surmised that he wouldn't have been able to cope too. He was at a dilemma as to how to counsel him in this state. At last, he found his voice.
Elder Oladipupo, please, I really understand what you are passing through. I'm a man like you. And sincerely, this is too much to bear. Even the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 21 verse 9 that it is better to dwell on a rooftop than to stay in the same house with a quarrelsome wife. That's NIV version. That very statement was repeated in Proverbs 25 verse 24. It's a terrible thing indeed to live in a house where the wife who is supposed to give the husband peace of mind is causing him troubles instead.
Exactly, my pastor, exactly. Sincerely, I am fed up. I don't know how I ended up with this crazy woman. She is just getting worse by the day. I have always thought she would change, but guess what? Each day comes with fresh troubles. She has quarreled with all my family members that none of them visit our house again. I must not send money to my aged parents or my siblings. If she gets to know, hell will be let loose.
Really? This is a serious matter. And you never for once told me all this.
Pastor Cole replied.
Pastor, what joy is there in exposing my wife's weaknesses to people? I just thought I should be enjoying it to save her face. Most especially because of those who respect her a lot at the church. The most painful thing is that she has painted me so bad in the presence of all our own family members. As we speak, I am just like a housefly before them. I am of no value. She keeps accusing me of infidelity, and I have never for once slept with another woman. Though, frankly speaking, I have intended to do it several times because she denies me her body, but I usually get over the temptations. I have kept my marital vows. I have been a faithful husband, but this woman is a big thorn in my flesh. Pastor, can you believe that my wife doesn't bathe every day? Truly. Yet, I will still come for that same body like that, and she would keep giving excuses upon excuses. She denies me of sex to punish me at will for no particular offense that I committed, for no justifiable reason. If not for Christ, Ladies are many out there, Pastor. You yourself, you know these things. Even if you don't have money to spend on those ladies to have sex with them, some of them are ready to spend money on you. Do you believe I masturbate to relieve and release myself whenever I'm horny? I just have to make this confession to you. I am legally married to my wife, but I can't have sex with her whenever I come around. I am fed up in capital letters. I come home and trouble would be waiting for me. I have vowed never to raise my hands at any woman, talk more of my wife. I think I just need to leave this marriage for my sanity. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I see other couples happily married. I see women out there who adore their husbands, and I wonder who I offended that made me choose the worst woman to marry. My peace has been taken away on the platter of marriage. Pastor, I feel I'm dying within.
Elder Oladipupo cried. Drops of tears escaped from Pastor Mrs. Cole's eyes. How can a man be passing through this terrible situation, yet come to church smiling and even counseling other people? No, this is too much, she whispered to herself and shook her head in pity.
God have mercy.
Pastor Cole exclaimed in shock. The background noise continued. It was as if Mrs. Oladipupo was possessed by a strange power that afternoon. The knock became so hard that Pastor Cole had to put the phone away from his ears.
If this knock can be this loud over the phone, I wonder what elder is passing through there. This can lead to migraine, he said to his wife.
We need to get to their place very fast, Pastor Mrs. suggested.
You are right, Elder Oladipupo. We will come to your place very soon. Please hold on in there. Do not open that door yet.
Pastor Cole instructed. I will be the one to poison you last, I swear. I will show you. You think you can bring another woman to take over my place after all my labors? Mrs. Oladipupo shouted. Jesus! Mrs. Cole screamed out.
Pastor, did you hear that? She wants to poison me. Over what exactly? Is this the woman I will stay with? Hang in there, Elder. We are on our way.
Pastor, don't bother yourself. This woman cannot change. I know her more than you do. I'm leaving the house now. Like I said earlier on, I'm feeling my brain is about to explode. I need to go somewhere to cool off my head and have a very sound sleep. But if you choose to come around so you can speak with her, fine.
Okay, sir. No problem. We will still come around. You can go, but please try not to beat her or do anything. Please, I beg you in God's name.
I have never done that, and I never will.
Okay, sir. We will visit her soon.
Elder Oladipupo changed into a light cloth, picked a few more changing clothes and placed them in a small bag. He picked his car key and opened the door of his bedroom. Immediately he did, he felt a loud thud on his head. His wife struck him with the wooden turning stick he uses in her kitchen. Elder Oladipupo went dizzy and held his head. He sank slowly to the floor. The pain was unbearable.
What did you just do?
He whimpered in pain, holding onto his head, which felt as if it was falling apart. That's to teach you a lesson for keeping me waiting here for several minutes. Nonsense. His wife hissed loudly and walked out on him, leaving him in a painful and helpless state. Pastor Cole and his wife arrived at the Oladipupo's house in the space of 15 minutes. Immediately, Mrs. Oladipupo heard the sound of their car just outside their compound. She quickly went to change into her housewear, after which she went to her husband's room.
Bimpe, were you set to torture my life? Why would you do this? Is it a crime that I married you?
Elder Oladipupo cried out in pain, still holding his head as he sat on his bed. Hey, save the story for now. The pastor and his wife are here. Just heard them parking their car outside, and I have seen them through the window. So I'll advise you to pull yourself together and behave normally, Mrs. Oladipupo said sternly to her husband. Elder Oladipupo smiled painfully.
Behave normally? You are trying to hide your true nature as usual. Typical of you, wicked woman. God will judge you for everything you do to me in this marriage.
He replied in agony. Whatever. I know you wouldn't want to let them know that you as a marriage committee chairman is fighting with your wife, she murmured. The doorbell rang and Mrs. Oladipupo immediately went to get the door. Unknowingly to her, her husband already updated the pastor about what she did, and he had requested that they quickly come around so they can take him to the hospital as the pain was getting unbearable. Wow! Pastor, mommy, what a surprise visit. We weren't expecting you at all. Please come in. You are welcome, sir, ma, Mrs. Oladipupo greeted. Pastor Mrs. Cole was shocked, likewise her husband. They both were shocked beyond words. They exchanged a glance with each other, both of them amazed about Mrs. Oladipupo's level of expertise in putting up a facade.
Please, where is the elder?
Pastor Cole asked quickly. He is in his room. I'll get him for you, she replied. There, Pastor is here. She chimed along the way to the bedroom. Pastor Cole and his wife exchanged a glance again.
Is this a drama or something?
Pastor Cole whispered to his wife. Ha! This is beyond what I can ever fathom. What a height of pretense, Mrs. Cole replied, still awestruck about Mrs. Oladipupo's actions. Elder Oladipupo trudged out of his bedroom, still holding his head with his wife following closely behind.
Pastor, please take me to the hospital fast.
Mrs. Oladipupo was surprised that her husband didn't pretend and act along in his usual manner. Before then, whenever they both were fighting and a visitor came along, they would both usually cover up. What is wrong with your head? Mrs. Oladipupo held her husband's shoulder. Jesus Christ! Pastor Mrs. Cole muttered in shock. The height of deceit that Mrs. Oladipupo was displaying was out of this world. If not that her husband has put the phone call on a loudspeaker earlier on, she would have argued that nothing happened between the couple. Pastor Cole frowned at Mrs. Oladipupo.
Madam, I am so disappointed in you. You think we don't know what has happened between you and your husband this afternoon? Everything that transpired, your husband has related them all to us. We have a recorded file of all your ranting while you were knocking hard at his door before you finally knocked his head with a wooden spoon. We are aware of everything, so cut the pretense. Ha! I'm highly disappointed in you, as I said earlier on. So this is the kind of person you truly are. And despite all the counsel we gave you before you left the church office earlier on, God forbid, I didn't think your husband had died in the process, and we are not aware of all that had happened. This is how you would be pretending, not knowing that you were the cause. Jesus Christ.
Pastor Cole nearly shivered as he spoke. Oh, really? Banjo? So you actually set me up, right? What if I recorded your voice too? Whenever we fight and you throw tantrums also. So you want to prove you are the saint here, so that pastor will see me as a bad person. Well played. I bet it with you. You will regret this that you have done, I swear. Mrs. Oladipupo threatened her husband and stormed into her bedroom. Pastor Cole ignored her. With the help of his wife, he helped Elder Oladipupo into his car and they quickly zoomed off to the hospital. He was quickly attended to and after a few days, he was discharged. His wife never checked on him all through the 4 days he spent at the hospital. After Pastor Cole had narrated what happened to the doctor, he had advised the pastor to ensure that Elder Oladipupo's safety is secured, and so he had to separate from his wife for a while.
A wife that can do this can indeed poison her husband or even stab him with a knife while he is sleeping. This man's safety is paramount. He should find somewhere else to go for the meantime.
The doctor advised.
You are right, doctor. We will definitely do something about it. Thank you so much.
Elder Oladipupo did not return to the house after he was discharged. He stayed at a hotel till the day he was to return to his workstation. He only went home in company of Pastor Cole to pick his car and other items he would need a day to the journey. Luckily for him, his wife wasn't home that day, so he picked what he needed and returned back to his station. 2 weeks after he traveled back to his workstation, he failed to come back home. His wife suddenly showed up at the place of work unannounced. She was glamorously dressed in a fitted gown that she hadn't worn in a long time. The gown revealed her heavy breast and hip line. She was indeed an attractive woman, ebony black, plump and beautiful. Her beauty was what attracted her husband to her many years ago. She must have visited the spa and must have also made use of the service of a makeup artist before embarking on that journey, because she was looking ravishingly beautiful with her long weave on dangling on her shoulders. Even Elder Oladipupo's colleagues couldn't help but stare at her. Elder Oladipupo was shocked to see her. He actually thought she had come to cause trouble. He quickly stood up to meet her and lead her out of his office because he knew how troublesome his wife could be.
Is this the same woman Banjo usually complains about, that she's not fine and she doesn't know how to dress? E be like say Banjo dey craze. See boss, see what Banjo is enjoying. No wonder he goes home every weekend. One cannot use this boss as a pillow and not forget his name.
One of his colleagues whispered as they watched Elder Oladipupo whisk his wife away.
Na only boss you see. See her backside. It is today that this life of marrying a slim woman pay me pass.
Another male colleague said, and the rest burst into laughter.
I swear to God, those who marry plump women are enjoying. Everywhere you touch is full, unlike we that marry the dry bones that we pray should come alive.
Another man put in, and the others burst into laughter. Only the women were not finding it funny. All of you are not serious. Men, what exactly do you want? So, a slim woman is no longer attractive again. Are you not the same set of people that say slim women are more sexually active? So because you just saw a beautiful plump wife of your colleague, you suddenly lose your sense of reasoning. Gbogbo yín pátá ẹ gbádùn rárá. One slim woman in her late 40s replied them. If one doesn't know her age, one could easily assume she was in her early 30s.
Madam, mind your business. This is men's talk.
One of the men replied her, and the rest laughed.